Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the After Action Report. We are very, very happy to have you with us. Someone else who is very happy to have you with us is Admiral Tater Ship Shop. He is our sponsor, and we are very, very glad to have him. If you have seen any of the prize support for a lot of Armada events, he is responsible for that, but he doesn't just restrict himself to Armada. You can find some really, really great accessories for most of your Wargame tabletop desires there. He is currently working on stuff for Leviathans. He is also, I know, working on stuff for Cyberpunk, and he's had some stuff in the works for Blood Bowl. So if there is a game that you are interested in, I highly, highly recommend that you check out Admiral Tater Ship Shop. See what you can find out there, because it is good, good stuff. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm really happy that you're joining in on this show. We're going to have some fun talking about what's going on with the FAQ. And with that in mind, if I can get everything called up correctly, we have the crew with us here. We got Ruben.
How you doing, y'all?
Garrett snuck in on us here.
Hello, I'm here. I made it.
And we got Nick.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody doing all right today?
Yep, recovering from a GT.
How'd that go for you?
I went 2-3, so about around expectations. The field was a lot of strong players, and Warhammer 40k is a hard game, so I've only been playing about a year, and it usually takes about 3 to get to top-level competition.
I feel like the competitive environment for Warhammer is on par with the competitive environment for Magic.
Yeah, it's a deep, deep pool of players.
Yeah.
So
is there any news that we want to cover before we get into today's topic? I know there was some AMG news that came out that got some attention.
Are we gonna be a salt cast? Because we can be a salt cast, I guess.
Listen.
No. I'm just it's news to throw out there, you know.
Counterpoint has received their letter in the mail that they're going to get continued support. We promise.
Yeah, we know.
That
who
sounds
else got
familiar,
that
doesn't
email,
it?
Dude. That's what I'm saying.
Fine. They're going to be
Sounds
fine.
pretty familiar.
The company has to make money now, guys. Party is over.
Party's over. We have to make money.
So essentially, AMG's focus is now on Legion and Crisis Protocol, correct?
Yep. Yeah. They got a new MCP game coming out. Game mode. I don't know. It's called Alliances.
For what it's worth, I think Legion is a well-designed game. It's just that I play Warhammer instead.
Both those properties are good. So,
yeah.
As far as like gameplay.
Yeah, I think
that's why they still exist.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more a matter of bitterness on fan base.
They tried to kill Legion. All right, they couldn't kill it. They tried to. They tried to put a stake in its heart. It didn't work.
Yeah,
that's sad when you try to kill your own game. You know.
Yeah. Sure is, isn't it?
I guess allegedly. I'll say allegedly.
Rumor has it.
Nor deny. Due to full base coverage.
Yeah.
Is there any other news leading into Adepticon here?
I've loosely heard that the pre-orders for the starter boxes for the StarCraft Wargame are soon.
I feel like we mention that every show.
Yeah.
He's really excited about it.
The actual release it's like every other show, okay? It's once a month I talk about StarCraft, okay? Once a month I go, this game that I played in the 90s and the 2000s, still a fun game. And now it's a war game. But
soon we shall see it.
I'll definitely be floating around the booths at Adepticon to see if I can spot anything. Oh, and I was at CincyCon playing Warhammer 40k. I played the Cag Bash GT. And while I was there, during the break in the rounds, I wandered around the convention space, and I did run into a guy doing demos for Leviathans. It looks like they were doing the big, everybody controls one ship and fly around on like. He had this huge neoprene mat that was like a kitchen table, full table thing with hexes on it. So they were all flying around, shooting at each other.
That's their what's that called? King of the King of the Skies event table.
Something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know. Now, I exchanged information with him. He actually watches the show, so I'm sorry. I'm really, really terrible with names, especially off the cuff. So, like,
I
sorry.
want to say you probably talked to Rob.
Yeah, out of Cincinnati. He bought the acrylic from you, so we had a
Yeah,
little
I
bit of
think
a
it's Rob.
connection
I think
there.
that's his name. It's Rob.
Cincy something in the
Rob.
Discord. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
Well, I
but
feel
yeah,
like
shout out
we're
to you, man.
Hello. Hi, Rob. I
Shout
hope
out
that's
to
his
Rob.
name.
So please comment if you're watching, and you can reach out.
gonna. I
Because
feel
we
like
need to.
we're gonna mention this closer to Adepticon, but I kind of want to throw out there who's gonna be doing what at Adepticon this year. So Garrett, what are you gonna be up to at Adepticon?
I am doing a few things. I am making the bulk of the world's prizes for Stars Armada. So I'm gonna be hanging out over there a lot, playing some. I got a lot of tickets, so I have a lot of options, like all kinds of things every day. I also signed up for Operation Hannibal, um, for Leviathans, a couple of sessions of that, and then I've recently made some pretty good inroads with another game, Malediction, and I have a feeling I'll be hanging out a lot over there with them as well, uh, chatting and such. So that is the things I'll be involved with, which I'm sure will take up all the time.
All of it.
Yeah, Armada, Leviathans, and Malediction, and time will go by fast because at these events, like your days are jam packed, talking to
Oh
people
yeah,
and playing
that
games.
honestly, that's part of the reason why I didn't get involved in any of the Armada events this year was just because last year I went and my entire time was spent there at the Armada tables for the most part. I got a little bit in. I got to try the whatever the Star Wars card game is. I wasn't real thrilled with that.
Star Wars Unlimited,
Yeah,
the hit card game.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it terribly much, but that's just me. I can go into that later. And I did get to see what Shatterpoint was like. I'm not mourning what's going on with Shatterpoint because I just really didn't like the setup of the game. I'll be honest.
You don't like push simulators?
No.
Push around simulators?
No,
Okay.
no. I felt like the win condition there was unreasonable. But yeah, this year I will be getting into some Leviathans Operation Hannibal as well. I will be spending some time. I'm actually involved in one of the Cyberpunk Combat Zone tournaments, so you can find me there. And then I left a lot of free time so that I could just kind of wander around, maybe shoot some footage and see what games are out there, do some experimentation. I know I want to at least catch up with some of the crew that I used to hang out with when I was doing competitive HeroClix, because I know a lot of them are going to be there, so I'll get to say hey. What about you, Ruben?
I'm playing the 40K Super Major, so I'm going to be playing 4 games of Warhammer in one day, 2 hours, 45-minute rounds, so it's going to be fast. So my whole day is going to melt away, and then pretty much nothing. Whenever I go to Adepticon, I always play one tournament. In the past, it's been Armada. My first Adepticon was 2014, and we did the teams 40K stuff. So we had 2 teams of 2 players. It was a bunch of painting and hobby stuff. So we had tons of Tyranids and then My Space Marines and Chaos Demons and stuff. It's a really good time, but it's a more casual event. And this is a premier competitive 40K event.
Okay.
There's a cut for day 2. So if I happen to somehow magically get good pairings, I might be playing Warhammer. But I typically prefer to just kind of wander around the convention space, happen to run into creators. Year before last, I ran into the guy who runs the Guerrilla Miniatures Wargaming YouTube channel. This is a channel that I've enjoyed for BattleTech and some other game content. Done a lot of Armada stuff, and then just wandering around the vendor hall and seeing the cosplayers and watching random games get played. Because I've been into
Spending
Wargaming.
money.
Yeah, I've been into Wargaming for a long time. So everything from the historical to the sci-fi to GW is it's all interesting to me. So it's for me, the whole convention is a celebration of a hobby that I've had since I've been in high school.
Are you telling me, Garrett, that wargamers spend money?
Some more gamers.
That's the whole reason you get.
certain games.
That's the whole reason you get into a hobby, isn't it?
Are you
just do
going to
hobbies?
Adepticon, Nick?
I cannot go this year. I'm doing a trip to. Actually, it's gonna be we're leaving the end of next week, but I'm gonna be traveling to see family,
Okay.
and I just can't do back-to-back like week trips like that.
I can understand entirely.
Yeah.
Well, we had a really, really big FAQ come out for Leviathans, the Great War, and I don't think we really have the time to go through everything, but I thought a really great way to start this would be to ask each of us to throw out one or two things that jumped out at you as a big deal. So I'll go ahead and let Nick start here, because I normally don't
Okay.
let Nick start, and
That's
I
hey,
felt like
fair.
doing something different.
Okay, well then I'm gonna scroll down to my favorite thing that affects the Russians. They clarified something that I thought was very interesting. So, the Rapid Repair Admiral. Once per game, you may repair a slot that was destroyed this turn. Basically, the FAQ was asking, is this only during the repair phase, or can it be used to undo a torpedo hit that has happened before, before you get to your shooting phase? And they clarify, it should say, once per game, during the repair phase, you automatically repair a slot without making a roll or using a crew slot, even if the slot being repaired was damaged or destroyed this turn. And so they clarify, because the original card text did not say you may attempt a repair that has on a slot that is destroyed this turn. It just says you may repair a slot that was destroyed this turn. Didn't feel like the intention there was that you just got to free repair it. But I'm really glad they clarified that. It's like, no, you don't make a roll, you don't even use a crew slot. You once per game, you say, no, this slot got destroyed this turn, it's back. And that's awesome. I think that's a really good clarification for that.
How many points is that, Admiral?
I want to say that was their 10 point, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that yet.
That was the double
10
shifts.
10. No, this is rapid repair.
Rapid repair. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah, 10 point Admiral.
Sorry,
10
I was
points
trying to.
just immediately have a gun back online.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, like the gun you
That's
need,
good.
the turn you need it, you go like, no, I get that back.
Pretty awesome, actually.
It's really good. So I was really excited about that one.
I could understand that. Anything else?
For me,
Yeah.
sure. I like that they clarified heavy clouds with movement. Instead of being the bow hex, it's now the pivot hex, and that changes quite substantially a lot of navigating through heavy clouds with your battleships and cruisers. And so I like that. It makes a lot more sense because every other movement restriction really has to do with your pivot hex. So they're just keeping it consistent across the board. Whenever you're doing anything with movement, you're focusing on your pivot hex. So that's...
I felt it was really a lot more cohesive when we played Garrett just last week. Because we played with the new heavy cloud stuff.
Yeah.
So did it feel more cohesive to you two? Or did you even notice?
You're talking about the pivot hex?
Yeah, with the heavy clouds?
Yeah. Yep. Instead of the bow entering, it's the pivot hex that enters. It's just a little thing that while you're playing just makes more sense because the rest of the game is based off pivot hexes and not the bow of a ship.
So what jumped out at you, Garrett?
Me? Well, I'll do a good one and a bad one. All right. Where's my good one here? My good one was... I was going to say my pivot hex of my clouds. so I gotta pick a new one.
Gotcha.
Well, while you're looking that up, I do want to let people know that I do want to let you guys know that the FAQ that we've got up on the screen right now is something that you can access through our Discord. We do have that pinned to the top of the page for the Leviathans section of our Discord, so if you're wanting to look at any of this, that's where you can go to find it.
Excellent plug.
Okay. A good thing for probably the long-term health of the game with Austria-Hungary coming out is you cannot chain ram ships. So what that means is, what I'm saying is, if a ship has been displaced once, it can't be displaced again. So you can't displace 3 ships off the board. Basically, I'm going to hit this ship into this ship into this ship, and then this ship into this ship, and slowly moving them across the board, which would be pretty funny. But it would also be pretty toxic.
That would absolutely be I would play Austria-Hungary with nothing but destroyers and just say, I'm ramming your battleship.
That would become the game, right?
Yeah.
Punic War battles is what we turn it into.
Just
anyway,
push
my
it
bad
off
thing
the map.
Is a completely uncalled for, absolute savage call.
Oh, I know what you're getting ready to say.
Gut the spotters.
Yeah.
It was like the best. It was the most balanced thing in the game as far as fighters go. I don't know what happened. It was beautiful. You got a plane that sucked at dogfighting. It couldn't attack ships. All it did was make it so you could add a green dice to one of each of your ship's shots, and now a spotter can only affect a single attack. Yeah. But there's a silver lining. You can now spot for a bomber, so a bomber can add a green die.
But if they're sitting in a cloud, you can't spot unless you're adjacent to them.
Right, because now it's based on line of sight.
Line of sight.
Yeah.
So, and there's the other thing. There's never, ever a reason on the planet, even more so than usual, to take a veteran spotter. It is they shouldn't be in the game. There should just be a spotter.
Or just have veterancy mean that your skill thing gets better instead of your AA gets better.
Kind of like the torpedo bomber can shoot the torpedoes farther than a green torpedo bomber.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
Like
so
a veteran
spotters
spotter
are
6 hexes.
Yeah, this
never
just
bring a
really
spotter ever again.
For 30 points.
This really hurts any concept on MSU, I think. I mean, part of the reason why you brought this was so that all of these destroyers that you were using were getting the extra die.
It really helps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Certain ships.
And I think that's probably why they removed it. Because
I would have been okay with them leaving the ability alone and upping the cost on it. 40 points for something that gives a die to every ship.
I don't even think it was wrongly cost.
I thought it was fine. Yeah, I thought it was fine where it's at. I just feel, it's less impactful on your battleships, your big guns, your big saturation gun is already throwing 2 reds and a blue or whatever. Adding that green in there helps, but it's your small ships that are only throwing a green, blue, and maybe a yellow.
Yeah.
Already. Yeah, I guess they just felt I don't know. I feel like there's a really big problem in this game with small ships being able to punch up already, and so they're just
you gotta
hampering more.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I think that breach values in this game don't matter at all. And all they're there to do is say that, oh, okay, it takes me 1 extra shot to die or 2 extra shots to die. And all that matters is time to kill and just the volume of attacks that you make. Because
some ships
how
just
variant the dies
can't roll high enough to breach certain ships.
I mean, I just don't pick those ships, to be frank, right? I look at them and go, oh, green, blue, greens, play those.
That was why the spotter was great.
Yeah.
Right, because it opened up a bunch of ships.
Yeah, but then it also, all the points that you pay and all the design that you do to have armor and defensive stats, which already, in my opinion, are not very good in this game, unless you're Germans. It just gets countered by a 30-point plane that says, oh, well, breach right through, breach right through, breach right through, so...
Well, I mean,
I get it.
I don't know.
But I don't get...
That is too blanket of a statement. No.
It adds like
It's
2 or
plus
3 to
two.
1 attack.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna
If
I'm
you-
Yeah, but
gonna
you have
throw
to
out.
choose it before you roll it. You know, like you might just roll a
Yeah,
7
but it's
anyway.
on average +2. Most breach values in the game are only about a 14 to 16. And then
Yeah,
when
but
you make
the
a
spotter
bracking
is
attack with
not
2D
for
blue,
those ships. The
yeah,
spotter
it
is
is.
for bigger ships.
And I
It's
just
for
want to
your
throw out
bracketing
there
attack.
from a logical standpoint, in my perspective, it doesn't really make sense because a spotter is going to. I'm looking at this ship and I am sending the position location to all the ships in the fleet. I mean that's kind of the way the radio
Yeah,
works. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Like I don't I think that the spotter was too it was as it was before, it made defensive value even less valuable when I personally think it's already not the valuable stat in this game. And now it's literally just a useless piece, which is obviously not what you should do. Like, don't, if you're a game designer, don't take a piece and
Well,
say,
yeah,
oh, actually, trash.
because now you've
Like,
removed a reason to bring fighters to go shoot down their spotter.
yeah, the
So,
only
like,
reason I
now,
bring fighters is to
Kill other
escort my
turrets.
turret fighters while they're shooting their turret fighters. That's the only
right,
thing
but
they're
also
for.
to shoot down the spotter.
Yeah, and now you
So
just
now
don't
that's
bring the
gone.
spotter.
Because you
Yeah.
don't need
Now
that
it's
anymore.
now it's just only turret fighters.
It's turret fighters and fighters
The
because
whole game is turret fighters now. The whole thing. Because they still get to keep their location die. So they're the most dangerous thing on the board.
now I'm gonna absolutely disagree that the whole game is not just about turret fighters. The squad balls, yes, they are.
That's what I just said.
Not
the
the whole
fighter.
game.
The planes.
Yeah.
Not the
Don't
whole
be like
game.
that. You know we're talking about fighters.
You don't have to.
All
You
right.
don't have to bring 100 points. I've been over this a bunch. You can bring like 60. That's not even.
I really haven't been bringing squads. So.
Like,
Turret fighters
And-
are amazing.
They
and
are
I'm
good.
gonna
It
bring
just
in and roll a 3 yellow ones in a row.
Yeah, they're balanced. Just roll triple ones like me.
Yeah, which is wow.
But to continue my point, the turret fight. Well, let's just go through all the turret fighter stuff. So, turret fighters, they get location dice. So
Location die. They can attack any crew slot now.
any crew
All of
slot. Yeah.
Right.
So
Which we kind of.
that's different than how we were playing. Okay. So we were playing that they could only attack regular crew dice, not not uncommon crew slots. So that is a buff compared to how we played in the past. They get their location dice. Interestingly, when they're in the broadside arc of a ship, they choose which zone they hit, not they roll which zone they hit.
Yep.
Which is a small difference, but it can make them very efficient about how they put out their damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
At the
why
first
they
look-
needed that buff because nothing
Yeah.
else in the game gets to pick.
Because
I think that was just smart.
nothing else works that way. Everything else in the game rolls. I don't understand why it's not consistent with the rest of the game's rules that they would just pick.
It's consistent with turret fighter rules because they already picked the crew slot. They don't roll for location like a slot die. So
True. Okay. True.
you know it's at least consistent within the frame of you pick a crew slot, and it doesn't matter where it is. You just pick it.
And this is a straight clarification. Incidentally, Catalyst Games Lab has done pretty similar things to what a bunch of other companies have done, gaming companies, where they release what they call a frequently asked questions, and it's actually errata, like actual rules changes, not answering questions.
Right.
This is more actually an FAQ. Plain machine gun turret, like turret fighters, the machine gun air attack can't make a breaking the keel roll, so it won't actually ever kill a Leviathan.
yeah,
It'll
which I
damage the
think
location.
we
Did we-
were on. We never played it like it would do a breaking the keel roll. So I
Yeah.
mean, we were
Yeah.
we were on top of that. But it's nice to see it in print and clarified.
So your 100 points of planes. That's, I mean, there's only one build you do. I think there's two, maybe. 2 turret fighters, fighter, or you go 3 turret fighters, fighter, fighter. And that's just kind of it. You can play. You might be able to try Fighter Interceptor at 40 points.
Here's another thing you need fighters, cheap ones, just to block the bow, to keep your front crew alive. Because most ships' most important guns are on the bow.
Yep.
Yep.
So let's talk about anti-turret fighter tactics because we've been playing this way for the entire time we've been playing. Step one, put your fighters in positions where either if they come to attack your crew, you shoot them with AA support and they likely die in one go, or you put your fighters in positions where their fighters need to go, like the bow or the stern. Two, take your ships and put them next to your other ships that you want to be safe. Because since planes can't be overlapped and they can't end overlapping Leviathans, you can body block planes attacks by being in like this really tight formation, which you see me fly a lot. I fly in like really tight boxes with my fleets. So I'm kind of naturally protecting my ships from certain parts of my crew from turret fighter attacks. And then you can do stuff like move in weird ways when you're getting your angles to attack their Leviathans to like put your ships, because they don't block line of sight to yourself unless you screen, where you can block the fighters coming in because the fighters always act after all the Leviathans. So basically you put your Leviathans in effectively a AA box like from World War II around carriers. It's just that it's kind of like weird game body blocking stuff.
You're like literally just squeezing him out. You can't fit a fighter in.
Yep.
And
stack your AA together too.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna spread out and you need to spread out, like keep that one hex space between your ships and then go, well, if you come in here, I'm gonna make sure that you attack my crew one time, then you're dead. And then you only lose 3 crew instead of, oh, all my crew's dead. What could I have possibly done?
So what are the things that jumped out at you, Ruben?
Well, we've already covered turret fighters.
Yeah.
I personally actually prefer that offensive and defensive screening now below both block line of sight.
Yes.
Because it was weird when Garrett shot me through offensive screening, and I was like, this is a strange interaction. Because in my head, offensive screening is a Leviathan altering course and bearing to be at the same plane and trajectory, right? So I could rationalize it with the guns are shooting bang, 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 and then it comes into line, and then I can't shoot back at it. But it feels a lot better with it just being both ways.
Yeah.
Now, it does kind of make defensive screening feel not as good. Like, it's harder to strategically look at the two and go, this one's for this one's for this, at like first glance. You have to play a few games before you can really look at them and go, oh, okay, how do I optimize these things? But it does bring up the issue that the LOS rules just are not working correctly, to be frank. How they're written in the book just is not clear enough to play the game consistently without an agreement with your opponent, because it's just too nebulous about how you draw line of sight, how you make a targeting hex.
It's the targeting and attacking hex interaction that's the problem.
Yeah, it's really it's hard to do. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like this is on a video game where you can kind of see all your lines simultaneously. But because you're trying to measure everything, I mean, even on the hex map, it makes it a lot easier to see firing zones. It's still like, okay, you're holding 3 pieces trying to measure.
But our weird rule of, you're firing into their damage arc, and so now you have to measure to their closest hex to you, and all of a sudden it makes it
but like
unnecessarily complicated.
The rules don't even really state how you measure. All it says is target hex, and there's no text in the rules that says this is how you make a target hex. which is a
Right.
strange omission, even for a game's rules that are purportedly a conversation. Because if
Yeah.
I was telling somebody how to play, I would say, these guns shoot at this hex, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I prefer it being the closest hex on the enemy ship, because that's just clear.
That's always
Right.
been that's always been my issue with, like, you have two battleships broadsiding like 3 hexes away from each other. They're completely lined up. We both have to roll to see what we're hitting, instead of me going like, no, I want to take out, like, I'm aiming all guns at your front, right? Like at your foreport. And it's just
Mhm.
odd that you can't make that decision. It's
Even
like, no,
though
I
you're right, even though because your fire arcs like are clear as day there,
yeah,
but
like
because your firing hex intersects with their
the
middle
center hex.
originating
Yeah.
hex or whatever, all of a sudden now you got to roll for it.
see. I think for me, I'm probably the most okay with the D6 roll of all of us, because I kind of see it as that rule is simplifying the whole concept of ranging shots and how World War One and Two battleships
I mean,
fire in
that's
sequence at each other.
fine, but like the problem is on a game table, right? I can see your hex from my
Okay.
hex.
Yeah.
But
Why
like
can't I shoot
where
you?
Well, I think the
I'm-
bigger issue
I'm
that
taking my Leviathan and doing this and firing when I'm like this and then ducking. So how are you
Sure.
going to
No.
accurately hit me? It's
The-
three dimensional.
here
I've got-
is
I've
You
got
can
go-
use it accurately on 2 dimensions.
But
in the
a
ocean.
destroyer's not doing that. And that's the ship that would do it. A battleship is staying still, essentially.
we are.
They got to
At a minimum.
At a minimum.
All right, I'm gonna hold you up here for just a second. We had a little bit of a hiccup with OBS, so
Uh-oh.
it's back on. We're rolling. It's just I'm surprised. I've not seen that
So
happen with my
spicy.
desktop. Yeah.
So spicy we killed OBS guy.
Yeah, we were just, fighting too much. Well, as far as I am concerned, the one that really jumped out at me is the rule in regards to defense screening while turning in place. You could actually turn in place and you still have MPs, so you can choose to defensive screen or offensive screen as you see fit there. I am just baffled by that one, but I also like it. I'm from a strategic standpoint, I like it. From a logic standpoint, it doesn't stand up as well for me.
Consistency doesn't make sense.
You just have to for defensive, you got to stay adjacent no matter what, even if you turn or whatever.
Been through the MP to offensive screen.
OBS is having a rough night, guys. I'm not sure why it's bouncing back and forth here, but
at least that's what it seems to present as a possible state of the rules. Because the understanding that when you full stop, you spend all your movement points isn't true. It's that you spend 0 by counting hexes to it. If there's a cloud in the way, then you get punished for it. But how do you count to a cloud? Can you count around a cloud? It says that you count the somewhat in the straightest line in your firing arc, but that can be inconsistent. Because I can just kind of like
now
around
how
it.
we thought it was. Where if you're
because I can just kind of like
now
around
how
it.
we thought it was. Where if you're in the
Yes.
cloud, it affects
Yes.
you, and if you're
Yes.
firing from the cloud, it also affects you.
Yeah, which
I'll
is
be
a
honest.
super important consistency change.
Yep.
Because now everything from mountains to light clouds to heavy clouds uses line of sight. So all the rules work together.
I never even considered trying to like game the system like that, going around the cloud. I was like, there's obviously a cloud in my way. I'm shooting.
That's because you're not trying hard enough, Nick.
Just because it made sense.
Right. It makes I thought it made sense before to where because the book was like you measure to the middle of the hex and the middle of the hex was inside a cloud. Because the book was like you measure to the middle of the hex and the middle of the hex was inside a cloud.
That's
The-
only
yeah,
if
the-
you're
the
using
book-
line of sight.
But the book clearly gives you instructions on how to do line of sight, and if you're playing the game and you ever have a question of like, do I have line of sight? Even though the book doesn't say you have to check line of sight, we would just be like, I'm just gonna check line of sight.
But the book itself also tells you, oh, you don't use line of sight unless the rules, like the specialist
Yeah.
component, says that I use line of sight.
And that's
So,
why
like, the whole
that
thing's a
line
mess.
should just did not have been in the book, and
Yeah.
we would have had no confusion. It's fine.
Well, again,
Which
I'm
is
going to
great.
apologize to the people watching tonight that the feed seems to be going. I'm not
That's
sure what's
weird.
up with my internet tonight. I think it's my internet, but then again, you guys aren't having trouble. I'm not, jump
I'm not losing
frames.
you at this
Okay,
Yeah.
So I don't think
so
it's your internet.
I don't know what's going on. Good news is that, of course, we will have this full show without those interruptions that you're seeing later on YouTube as I.
Was confused by yellow torpedoes on French ships, and I was convinced that there were standard yellow torpedoes on the Dunkirk and Lavoie, and
Bow is 713, not 14. So your gunner's up there a little cross-eyed.
That's all fine. That's
I
the
think
one that's always
correct on the
closest
card.
anyway.
On my card, I think it's correct.
Well, that's what it says right here, is that all the bow one is 713 and everything else is 14. All the side
Right,
ones
yeah,
are
yeah.
14.
I just thought it was to like make it all fire at the same range. Right, that like you need to adjust the points
The points.
on the point stock by 25%.
Yeah.
If I had 25% more points for Italians, you guys would have a terrible time.
I would fly
I'd be
Russia
insufferable.
25%.
Oh,
That's,
I'd love-
I don't even know if Russia has enough good ships to
The
fly. at
Alexander
25%.
3 at 25% less would be a
We do,
bear.
Garrett. We do. I could definitely do a lot with 25% more.
Palada with 25%.
Three
Now I'm gonna have
Pilatas.
nightmares. I'm gonna have
Uh,
nightmares.
Yeah,
Can't
it's
believe
like a French fleet with John Bart and like 3 or 4
3
Facons.
cruisers. Oh shit. You
Kaiser.
kill a Kaiser then. Kaiser would die. That'd
Yeah.
be bad.
So yeah, that tells me like if they're doing that, that means the point stock's gonna see like some insane swings. That's a huge number, 25%.
That can't possibly be an actual standard game points adjustment amount. Because
No, it's for Hannibal for sure. But like
It's clear-
Hannibal's using the same fleets as the game,
But-
so
Clearly, they've designed something about the map or the mechanics wrong, where it's too snowbally for those teams on top.
Are moving. So let's say you have a ship that has speed or movement
Right.
6, and you have steering gears, and you have hex before of 2. You can move forward 1, spend 2 to side slip, move forward 1, and then turn. Because side slipping does not reset the hex before turn counter.
Mhm.
That was one thing that was clarified in this fact.
interesting. Are you talking
Yeah.
about a unit is considered to have moved if its pivot hex changes hexes during this unit's movement?
Well, yeah, it doesn't add, so like you can't side slip instead of moving forward, but if you move forward, then side slip, then move forward, it counts as having moved forward twice. For hex before turn.
Wouldn't that count for 3 though?
No,
I
it
would
doesn't.
use
forward.
It doesn't count
the core
the.
rules. The side slip does not count in the core rules as your pivot hex entering a new hex.
But
Yes.
this says a unit is considered to have moved if its pivot hex changes hexes during that
Yeah,
unit's movement.
Either they rewrote what the rules are and you can just like chain side slip and then turn, or they didn't think about these two things together.
Because that's what that says.
Yeah,
says
that
I
is
move
an
one,
interesting-
side slip, move, and that's 3 hexes I've changed. And if you've got the
Does-
MPs left,
We need an
turn.
FAQ for the FAQ.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, I said that too. I was like, I have more questions already. It
I
depends
also do
also
like-
on.
That they said that the Volcano class does actually get.
All right, so thank you for joining the show again. I do apologize about what seems like a really, really bumpy ride that we have had on the stream tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with that. If there is something that you missed, we will be having the show probably on Thursday. You'll be able to find it on the